Hi there, I am going to be doing a rear tire reinstallation on my ST1100. This will hopefully give you a little bit of an idea what to do, and this is basically reverse of what you're going to take it off. Unfortunately, I didn't film the taking it off part, and so I'm hands-free. I'm going to have this on my helmet, so hang on a second. Okay, here. The first thing we have is my new tire. New tire is mounted on the wheel is mounted the direction, so that way when you drop it off, it's all going in the correct direction needed. Now, one of the things they say to do is to use a moly grease. And you need to put some moly grease right around this O-ring here. And supposedly if you don't do this, you'll have issues. Now, honestly, I should change my O-ring. You can see that I've got some grease that's slung out past it, but so far it's okay. Alright, now cap this back off and find a rag, which I don't have anywhere handy. Alright, that's what shoes are made for. Alright, now I have removed actually the rear fender of my bike and installed this just to make it easier for roadside changes. Now, right here is those splines that I just lubed. That's where that's going to go. Slide the tire in here. Normally you'll have your fender pulled off. This is Honda did an excellent job with the STs on this. Alright, now this is very simple. You just lift it up like such until it lines up to the splines. Boom, it's on the splines. Very simple. Next thing you need to do, find the axle, which has fuzzy stuff all over it. I don't really want to be showing everyone my dirty garage, but oh well. Alright, now I usually put a little bit of moly grease on my axle as well. This is actually already pretty well greased up. I don't do too much on here just because it can tend to make a mess, but that's myself. Alright, the ST, you start this through and you just kind of bring this through and you see it start to come in here. Now you take your brake and you want to pry your pads open just a little bit. Be gentle, you don't want to damage them. This just makes it easier to slide over the rotor. You got your pin back there, and that's going to go through this hole here. Okay, this is all kind of one big motion. And once you get this dropped on like this, you can see it's slipping on here. There we go. And it's starting to line up here. Once you get this bottom part lined up, don't let it fall off the splines. Kind of hold it in. Slide the axle through. Take a little bit of finesse to line up, going through all the bearings and everything else. Everything still seems to be lined up pretty well. This caliper bolt up here is going to go through the back side of the caliper bracket. That's what keeps that from spinning around, and it takes a little bit of wiggling to get that to pop through as well. And once that goes through, get it started a couple threads. Now comes the tricky part of constantly wiggling this wheel to get it to line up just right. And as it slowly starts sliding through everything, and I kind of use my feet actually down here to help hold up the weight of the wheel. And then you can use a rubber mallet handle, tap that axle on through, and then lift it up a little bit so it slides through. Tap that all the way through, and it comes out the other side. Okay, Now, don't do what I just did, which is put it in and forget the spacer. This is very, very important. You do not want to forget the spacer. So I'm not going to stop this because this is what a lot of people do, and you're not paying attention and everything else. So add just a touch more grease to this. I like to add grease to this thing here because that's just a rubber seal that rides on the spacer here. This isn't too bad of a deal, even though I tapped it through already. You can tap it right back out. And this is actually almost, I should say, I'm demonstrating now how to take it back off. Alright, now pull the axle back out. Pretty simple. Slide that up. Drop the spacer in. What this does is this makes sure that this is riding on the inner bearing race, not the outer bearing race. Okay, just like that, it's in. Now I can actually really slide it in. Okay, pull this up with my feet. It's going on in, very simple. Honda did an excellent job making this an easy fix, and if you're on the side of the road somewhere, you could easily get this done. Alright, let me see how much time I have left on this. Okay, so there's 6 minutes and I've screwed up once, which is good. Now you have a nut here. Run the nut down with your fingers. Check your torque specs. I don't know if they're all the same, so I'm not going to quote any torque specs because right now I'm just going to do this by feel. Alright, you can write me evil letters if you want. Now to keep that from spinning, the easiest way, since you know it's all the way through, just snug this up a little bit. That's all this does here. Snug up this pinch bolt a little bit, and once you snug that up, then you can go ahead, put on the big old socket, slide it through here, tighten down your axle, and I will torque that later to the proper specs once I go look them up. Alright, now you want to loosen this pinch bolt up real quick. Make sure that it's not doing anything funky. That pinch bolt's made to float in there. Keeps from compressing anything. And tighten that up. And the next thing you have to do is tighten up this caliper here. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to get to it, and you actually have to just tighten this one up the hard way with an open-end wrench, and it's a lot longer-winded than it looks. Sometimes I put a little grease on there. You couldn't really see it. There is a little thin coating of grease on the part that goes back in the caliper. It's always a good thing to put grease and lubricant on anything that slides, moves, wiggles, or just otherwise just sits in weather. Now, once this is tight, tighten this up the rest of the way. Give it a good shove. I actually always hold on to the wheel and pull against the wheel. Otherwise, you'll end up pushing something off the center stand, and then come back through, make sure everything's done and good, and there you go. That is installing a wheel on an ST1100. Very simple, very fast, and in all actuality, I pulled it back off, so 5 minutes is about all that longer takes. Thanks for watching, and you have a good day.